is nearly Christmas, and it's time to make some Christmas cards. What do you think? Hello YouTube! Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a card tutorial or just like a video on me making cards. Jessica Corey's video inspired me to do this, and I actually need to make Christmas cards, so I thought, why not record it and make it into a video, because that makes sense and it's being productive with the time. So that's what I'm gonna do. So also make sure you go over and check out her channel because her tutorials are fantastic. They're different ideas that I wouldn't have thought of, so make sure you go over and check that out. But yeah, let's get into it.
So the first thing I do is get my Canon watercolor paper, and it's 185 GSM. It's really nice to paint on. And it is an A3 page, so I fold it in half and then cut down the middle. And then you'll see in a moment, I fold it in half again and then cut down the middle again, so that I actually did it so I had two different size cards. So this was the first size, which is, I don't actually know what size it is. It's half of an A4 page, but it's a really nice size card. It is a bit larger, so I thought, no, I'll cut it in half again and then fold it so that they are like a half of an A5 sized, and I think that's like the perfect size card. So you can see them together there. So I don't know the standard card sizes, and I know they're different in different areas, but I figured this was the easiest way to do it, so why not? And then I have taped my paper down to my board, like I usually do when I'm doing watercolor. And I've run out of like masking tape, and sticky tape really rips up the paper, so I'm actually using electrical tape, which you probably cringe at, but it doesn't stick to the paper too bad. It does mean that it bleeds ever so slightly sometimes around the edges, but I don't mind the look of that, so it doesn't bother me too much. If you need a really clean line, I should probably go and get some masking tape or washi tape or something of the sort. So I just decided to sketch in my design onto the paper. And you can see that I've only taped down half of it because obviously I only want the front part of the card to have the design on it. And then I use one of my permanent markers, so a Sharpie, to do the line work and erase the coloured pencil, the kohl erase pencil. And then I get my koi watercolors, Sakura koi watercolors out, and I start filling in the background and putting some colour into the whole picture. And I'm sure hopefully you've figured out what the image is at the moment. So it's actually, I don't know whether you've seen like those little, it's a bauble or like a Christmas tree decoration. And I know they have them not just at Christmas, but like they sometimes do like terrariums, I think that's what it's called. So like different plants and rocks and ornaments in them to make them look like little habitats, and they're open at the front. So it's actually a sphere, but yeah, I'll try and see if I can find a picture and insert it here so you know what I'm talking about. But of course I made my version Christmassy, and it has a candle in it, and I've tried to make it look as though the candle is obviously lighting up the bauble. So I've tried to do shading the best that I can, because as you're well aware if you watch the rest of my videos, I'm not amazing with my shading, but I'm definitely improving. So I've tried to make the very top of the bauble a lot lighter than the bottom half, and tried to put like a more dark emphasis at the bottom, which I think in the end I managed to do really well. And I actually did make the background lighter at the top and darker at the bottom, which I think helped bring out the overall look that I was going for. But yeah, so I just start building up the colors, and I think it did actually turn out really well, and the way that I wanted it to, which was really good. And then I just added some shading to the actual candle and let it all dry. And then once it was dry, I started pulling off the tape very carefully, of course, because as I said, it does usually rip the paper, but this one I didn't seem to have too much issue with, but you can see what I mean by it bleeding a little. And then I went in with a white gel pen and just added some little stars and emphasi on certain areas, and signed my name with the white gel pen because I thought that looked really nice. So once I finished and I was really happy with it, it was actually my mum that suggested that I make them into a whole heap of cards, like copy it, photocopy it, or like I ended up scanning it into the computer and editing a little bit and then printing them off. So I'm going to show you that process as well if that's something that you're interested in doing for your Christmas cards, and that way you don't have to do 10 different designs. You can just do 1 or 2 designs and print them off for everybody, and that way they're still personal and unique. So I have imported my picture into Photoshop, and you would have seen I've made the background red just so I can see what I'm doing and I can see like where the lines are, because my scan was white, so it just gives that like differentiation between the two. And then what I did was I used an eraser tool to just crop the edges off so that it was a nice and clean image. I put a little border around the edge and re-signed my name in white because it was cut off a little bit and I wanted it to look nice and clean and neat. And then I wanted to fix the colouring of the image, so I just played with the brightness and contrast until I was happy with it. And then once I was happy with it, I copied it a second time down below, and the size of my canvas is actually A4, so that I knew that I could take it into a printing shop and get it printed. And I just moved it in the page a little bit so that just in case their printer didn't print properly, which you'd want to hope it did, but just in case it didn't, there'd still be that little bit of edging. And then I went into a shop here in Australia. I don't know if they're all around the world, but it's Officeworks, and I got them printed, and it cost me, I think it was, I got 8 pages printed and it was like $7.15 or something. So yeah, it worked out really cheap and I was really happy with the quality. It's on 250 GSM paper, so it's like card, and it's really, really nice. So then I've just used my little guillotine to chop them down to size, and it's a good little guillotine. I think it was like $5 or something like that from the same shop, and it does the job quite well. I do want to invest in a bigger one day because this one kind of leaves a little bit fuzzy edges, but that's alright. It does the job well enough. And then on the back of each card I have just written my name and the year, because I thought that was a good idea and it looks quite nice, because most cards you'll see have like the brand or whatnot printed on the back, and I thought, well, seeing as I don't have a fancy stamp yet, I will just put my name in the year, and that way everybody will know that it came or was created by me. So I have an entire box full of random envelopes that I don't even know where I got them from, and I happen to have a heap of Hallmark envelopes, so I thought, why not, let's use these. So you can see I've got them there and all of my fancy cards, and I'm just putting them all in the envelopes so that I know that I have enough. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I hope that this has helped you, and you now know how to create your own cards or how to upload your card into the computer and get them printed so that you can have a heap of them.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, tips or tricks, please let me know, as always. Otherwise, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button so I know that you love the content that I'm producing, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.